Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be speaking about hair loss. This is a very common problem which most women speak to me about. So I thought, hey, let me do a little something about it because I have experienced a lot of it this year and I've figured out some things that have worked and haven't worked for me. So I thought I'd share. So yeah, before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe now. And then you can like it. If you find it useful, you can share it. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started. So I have a list of things that I have found that I've learned about hair loss this year. And on my Instagram, in my stories, someone, when I asked people to ask me anything, one of the common problems that was brought up was hair loss. And I cover some of this stuff in my 5 tips for healthy hair, but I have a few things to add in that are not shared on that video. A disclaimer before I start: I am not a doctor, so everything that I'm saying is not medical advice. It is simply things that I've researched and I have understood about myself and learnt from others. If there is a deeper rooted issue that needs to be acknowledged, you should go see your doctor about that. I am in no way qualified to give you that sort of diagnosis. This is simply a lessons learned to start the video. So let's get started. One of the first things that I would talk about is what products are you using in your hair. So over lockdown, I switched shampoos to a new brand because I always, when I run out of a shampoo, I always like trying out new ones just to see how my hair works with it. And you should always change up your shampoo every year or every time you have the chance, because then your hair gets very used to what products you're using and they might not have the same impact, but you can always go back to your old products. So for example, I switched shampoos and my husband was just like, your hair is literally everywhere, and we have cream carpet in our home, so my hair like stands out everywhere because it's so dark. And I was like, yeah, I don't get it, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because like I'm taking all my vitamins, I'm drinking water, like I'm doing all the healthy things, like what's going on? And on one of my Instagram stories, I must have mentioned that I use a certain brand of shampoo and I really like the way that it makes my hair feel and I really like it. And someone messaged me going, that shampoo made my hair fall out. And I didn't think much of it because I just thought I was not making my hair fall out. But my hair fall was getting worse and worse. And I was like, oh my god, actually someone mentioned that this shampoo did this to their hair. So I researched it and then I found that for some people it worked amazingly and it didn't have that sort of side effect. But there were a few people who were like, yeah, it did actually make my hair fall out. And I was like, maybe I should switch up my shampoo just to see the difference. So I switched back to my old shampoo, which is Herbal Essences, the Botanicals range, and literally my hair fall like halved. And I was like, oh, it was the shampoo. So sometimes we might think a shampoo is making our hair feel great, but it actually might be having another effect. And it doesn't mean that it's overall a bad product, it just means for your hair type it doesn't work. So it's worth looking into what type of products you're using in your hair. This also applies to styling products. So for example, if you're using gels and if you're using gels and hairsprays, anything that is literally putting a load of product in your hair, over time, even if you don't see an immediate sort of difference, it will have an impact on your hair and your hair can fall out. Because if you think about hairsprays and gels, they dry your hair out. And if your hair's dry and it doesn't have moisture in it, what does it have to hold on to? It'll eventually just like start dropping out. And that includes going on from styling products to styling generally. Like, I guess that's the second thing, like how are you styling your hair? Are you pulling your hair back every single day? Because if you are pulling your hair back every single day, then you're pulling the hair follicles, and then that's going to create a little bit of hair fall. Not such a massive sense of hair fall, but again, little things every day can have a bigger impact in the future. So how are you styling your hair? And then, so for example, I will link a video here for like low styles that you can do, like braids or buns or something where you don't have to always have your hair up. And then the third thing is your diet and if you're taking any supplements. So again, I'm just going to remind you of my disclaimer from the beginning of the video. This is not medical advice. This is just general advice of things I have found useful for me. So Things like, are you drinking enough water? Are you eating the right things? Sometimes sometimes the things that we eat might not always be good for us. And so for example, in this concept of Ayurveda, they talk about how everyone's body has a different constitutional type, and like certain foods might not be good for it. And one of my friends has done a video on this, on how you can have healthy hair, so I'll link her video in the description below. And I have another friend who has a whole page on Ayurveda and talks about all these different things, so I will link her page in my description too. So yeah, what are we putting into our bodies that might not be helping us or will be helping us? Do you have any deficiencies? Are you deficient in iron? Are you deficient in any vitamins? It's worth getting this checked out just in case there is something that is having an impact on your body. Because again, like what we put inside our body, if you're putting a load of rubbish into your body, it's going to have an impact not just on your hair but on your skin and on your mood. And it's like a whole holistic thing is going on, if you know what I mean. And then another thing is, what type of water are you washing your hair with? So I was speaking to my mum about this, and she was like, yeah, I had a friend, she lived in India, like her hair like was in abundance and it was gorgeous and it was thick, and then she moved to England and it's basically started thinning out and it's got really dry. And I was like, oh okay. Then I researched into it, and it's like pollution, the air, the type of water of the area that you live in can have an impact on your hair. We can't do anything much about the pollution, and we can't do much about the air apart from what we can do on an individual level, but that's a whole different story. But generally, if you're going to walk out on the street right now, you can't control what impact that's going to have on you right now, like straight away. It's just you walk in it and then you deal with impact as it comes. So for example, water, we can potentially see if we can do anything about it. So a lot of London and areas around are hard water areas, and hard water is generally not good for your skin and it's not good for your hair. So the first option is a bit of an expensive option, but the first option could be getting a water filter system installed into your home. And I had a leaflet about it in the post once, and it was about £2,000 to get it fitted, and then you have to have a yearly maintenance on it. So it is pretty expensive, but it does have good long-term effects. And then the second one, which is the most common one and the one that I find has helped, is changing your shower head to a filter head or an ions ball head. So I'm going to link, again, like I mentioned before, anything that I speak about, any products I speak about, I will link in the description below. So you can use, there's one shower head which comes with little balls, and they're made from like I guess some different materials and ions, which help to filter the water into soft water, so it has a less harsh impact on your hair. And then you can get a shower head with a actual filter, and you just change that once every 6 months, and these cost about £15 to £30. It's a lot less cheaper, and it can still have a good impact on your hair if you don't want to spend the £2,000 for a filter system to be added into your home. Even the types of materials that we dry our hair with. So for example, if your towel is really rough, and then you like put it on your head and you like scrub it like this, it will have an impact on your hair. So one thing that I've switched to over the last 5 years is a cotton towel. And it's so thin, it literally like soaks within like a few minutes. But it is so much softer on your hair. It will help with frizz, it will help with hair fallout, and it will just be generally better for your hair. And I bought mine from India, and it was like 100 rupees, which is about £1. But I have found some on Amazon, which I will again link below. You can even use something simple as a t-shirt. You don't have to go out and buy anything. But sometimes I know people like having things separate because you're not always going to reach for a t-shirt. But yeah, 100% cotton. Or you can even get microfiber towels, which are super soft in your hair. And again, like I've heard people have really good results from those, so I have researched those too, and I'll put a few links in the description below. The last thing I want to mention is our mental health and stress. So stress has a massive impact on so many different aspects of our health. It can affect hair loss. I had a issue called trichotillomania, I think it's called. And again, I'll leave any information I have on it in the description below. But it's basically a way of handling stress, and I had it really badly for quite a few years ago. And I didn't realize I was doing it, but I found it so satisfying. I mean, like, I could just sit there and just be like, and I could pull out like clumps of hair, roll it into a ball, put it in the bin, and not even think I've done anything bad to my hair. So things like stress can have an impact. I told like my mum and my husband that these things were happening, and every time I would sit there and pull my hair out, they were basically like, hey, stop doing that. And as much as I hated people doing that, because it was kind of like, wait, hold on, this is my coping mechanism, like, why are you doing this to me? It was something that I needed people to know, because then I could stop. So we might be doing things subconsciously that we don't realize are making our hair fall out, because mine got so bad that to one point I remember putting my hair up and I had a bald patch like over here, and I knew how to maneuver it to and after that I knew how to maneuver, okay, don't do it in one place too many times, because people will find out, or you don't want to look like you've got bald patches, but that doesn't solve your problem. Like, eventually you just end up with no hair. And that's one side effect of stress generally, even without you pulling out your own hair, can make your hair fall out. And I know, especially with lockdown and COVID this year, adding to the stress that we all have going on in our lives, it hasn't really helped. So it's worth looking into things like, okay, what can I do to help relieve my stress? Like, one thing I'm finding so important is going for a walk, getting out into nature, breathing, yoga, meditation. Find things that can help you calm your mind, and have a better impact just on your mental health. Writing, reading, getting lost in something that's not making you pay attention to, that's wrong, not paying attention, but something that helps you resolve your stress, basically. What can you do to kind of like help yourself in that arena? It's not always easy. There are things that I struggle with, and there are things that I'm still trying to figure out, but those are the things that have helped me. So yeah, I really hope you found that useful. So that is the end of this video. I hope you have found it useful. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe now. And if you think this video is going to help anyone, if they are losing hair, then you can please share it with them. And I will see you in my Christmas videos. I have a library of other styles, from like braids to simple styles to everyday looks to how to curl your hair. So check them out, see if you find them useful, and I'll see you next time.